Hello everyone, I am Professor Santosh Navle, working as an assistant professor in Civil Engineering Department, Sanjeevani College of Engineering, Kopargaon. In this video, we are going to learn slope and deflection methods for the subject structural analysis 2. This is the teaching scheme and the examination scheme for the subject structural analysis 2, and the syllabus in unit number 1. The unit number 1 is slope and deflection method of analysis, and these are the content of unit number 1. Introduction of slope and deflection method. Slope and deflection method was presented by George A. Money in 1815. It is used for analysis statically indeterminate beams and frames. Statically indeterminate means which cannot be analyzed by using equilibrium equation. Slope deflection method is a displacement method, that is equation method. This method mainly involves slope and deflection of the member at its joint, and hence the name as slope deflection method. The basic unknown in slope deflection methods are the non-zero joint displacement of a structure, that is degree of kinematic indeterminacy or degree of freedom. These are the different symbols for the development of slope and deflection equation. So the development of slope and deflection equation. The slope deflection equations are derived by superposition of end moment due to the following cases. In figure number 1 shows a prismatic member AB connected to a rigid joint at A and B. The length of the beam is L and its flexural rigidity is denoted by EI. Consider the beam AB as a fixed beam subjected to a given loading. In figure number 2, the fixed end moment developed due to the given loading. MF AB is nothing but fixed moment in member AB. MF BA is nothing but fixed moment in member BA. Now, fixed moments are nothing but the moment which are resisting the given load. As the load is vertical, so the fixed moment at joint A, it will be in anti-clockwise direction, and fixed moment at joint B, it will be in clockwise direction. Now in the next figure, here theta is A is nothing but rotation of joint A. Now allowing the rotation at A by theta A and maintaining the fixity at joint B, due to this induce a movement 4ai upon L theta A at A and 2ai upon L theta A at B. In the next figure, allowing the rotation of joint B by theta B and maintaining the fixity at joint A. Due to this, a movement is induced at joint B, that is 4ei upon L theta B and 2ei upon L theta B at joint A. Now in the next figure, maintaining the fixity at A and B, that is at both ends, and produce a vertical deflection delta at A. Due to this, moment at each end will be 6ci upon L square delta. In the next figure, produce a vertical deflection at B by delta. Due to this, the moment induced at B as well as at A, it will be 6ci upon L square delta. Now here the rotation is given in anti-clockwise direction, so the moment induced will be also in the anti-clockwise direction. So superimposing the moment developed due to all the causes, the equation of n moments are simplified as follow. So MAB is equal to MAB, that is moment in member AB, is equal to fixed moment in member AB, that is MFAB, plus 4A upon L theta A plus 2AI upon L theta B plus 6AI upon L square delta. Here we consider it as a plus minus 6AI upon L square delta. Then moment in member BA is MFBA plus 2EI upon L theta A plus 4EI upon L theta B plus minus 6EI upon L square delta. So this is the slope and deflection equation for the member AB and BA, where as we know that MFAB and MFBA are the fixed moment due to the given load, as the load is transport load here. 4AI upon L theta is the near end rotation contribution, 2AI upon L is nothing but the far end rotation contribution, 6AI upon L square delta is a relative translation contribution. Fixed moment for some standard cases. Now for this, the sign convention, the clockwise movement are negative, whereas anti-clockwise movement are positive. Now if you see the first case, the fixed beam is subjected to a load W at the center, so the fixed moment at joint A will be in anti-clockwise direction, and fixed moment in at joint B will be in clockwise direction. So fixed moment at joint A will be WL by 8, as it is in anti-clockwise direction, so positive. Fixed moment at joint B as it is in clockwise direction, so negative, so minus WL upon 8. Now here, as the load is center, the fixed moment at A and B will be the same, only at A it will be positive, whereas at B it will be negative. Now the next case, the point load W is acting away from the center, so the fixed moment at A will be WAB square upon L square. At joint B it will be minus WAB square upon L square. In the next case, a fixed beam subjected to a UDL. At joint A it will be in anti-clockwise direction, at joint B it will be in clockwise direction, so both the moments value will be the same, only at joint A it is in anti-clockwise direction, at B it is in clockwise direction, so it will be WL square upon 12 at A and minus WL square upon 12 at B. So here the fixed beam is subjected to a moment M at the center. Now as the moment is acting in the clockwise direction, so due to this, as this will rotate the structure in this way, so the reaction will be in the opposite direction. So this will rotate, so the fixed moment at joint B will be in the clockwise direction, as well as the fixed moment at A will be also in clockwise direction. So the fixed moment at joint A is M minus M upon 4, and fixed moment at B it is minus M upon 4, as both the fixed moments are acting in clockwise direction, so it is negative. Now the moment acting away from the center, again here the moment is acting in the clockwise direction, so the reaction again the resisting reactions will be in this way. Due to that, the structure it will have the fixed movement at B in the clockwise direction, as well as at A it will be in clockwise direction. So the fixed movement is MB minus MB bracket minus MB bracket 3A minus L upon L square, and at B it will be minus MA bracket 3B minus L upon L square. The next case is a fixed beam subjected to a uniformly varying load. The fixed moment are WL square by 30 at joint A and minus WL square by 20 at joint B. Equilibrium condition of slope deflection method. When the structure is in equilibrium, its part must be in equilibrium. That is, every member, each joint and each point of the structure should be in equilibrium. So moment equilibrium of a joint. This is the given beam ABC. If you draw the free body diagram, so here as at A fixed support, so the three reaction. At B, as it is a continuous, two reaction. So in member BA the reaction is in clockwise direction, whereas for the member BC it is in anti-clockwise direction. Now here the moment equilibrium of a joint B is nothing but this joint should be in equilibrium. So the summation of moment at B, it should be equal to 0. So which is nothing but moment in member BA, it should be same, that is in moment moment in member BA will be same as that of moment in member BC, but having the opposite direction. So MBA plus MBC should be equal to 0. If we consider the next beam, which is subjected to a cantilever beam BC, okay, and if you draw the free body diagram, so at joint B, summation of movement at B is equal to 0, that is movement in member BA plus movement in member BC, it should be equal to 0. Now degree of kinematic indeterminacy or degree of freedom, it is the number of displacement allowed at a joint of the structure. Now if you consider the first joint, it is a fixed joint, okay. Now the fixed joint is subjected to three reactions. One is the vertical reaction, second one is the horizontal reaction, and the third one is the moment, okay. So the degree of freedom, that is allowable displacement. Now this fixed joint will not allow to move in x direction as well as in y direction, as well as it will not allow to rotate. So the degree of freedom will be equal to 0. Now hinge support. Now if you see the hinge support, now the hinge support has the two reaction, that is vertical reaction and the horizontal reaction, okay. Now this this hinge support will not allow the member to move in x direction as well as in the y direction, only the rotation allowed, that is delta. So the degree of freedom is 1. The next one is the roller support. So this roller support only one reaction, that means this roller support will not allow to move in y direction, but it will allow to move in x, as well as the rotation is allowed. So here the degree of freedom is 2, but for the beam we are neglecting the axial displacement. So here only one degree of freedom is there, that is 1. So these are the degree of freedom for the different types of loads. Analysis of continuous beam and the portal frame. The first step is to determine the degree of freedom. Second step, to calculate the fixed moment for each member of a structure due to the given load. Next step, slope and deflection equation for each member of a structure. Next step, applying the condition of equilibrium for beam and shear equilibrium for the sway portal frames at a joint of a structure and determine the unknown displacement. Next step is to calculate the end moments of each member of a structure. Next step, to calculate the support reaction, and the last, to draw the shear force and bending moment diagram. Thank you.